Are you actually afraid of success? Why would anyone be afraid to achieve the thing they claim to want? On the surface, fear of success doesn't really make sense. Surely failure is worth being afraid of way more. So why would you be terrified to actually succeed? I'm a psychologist and a coach, and I've worked with everyone from aspiring solopreneurs, New York Times bestselling authors, YouTubers with millions in subscribers and revenue, seasoned CEOs, and eight-figure founders scaling their companies even larger, aka people pursuing various levels of success. Well, fear of success is actually one of the most common topics we dive into, and this is why. For many people, achieving success represents loss. Here are 8 of the most common types of loss that success represents that I consistently hear from people. Number 1, loss of loved ones. So one of the common things I hear from founders with this is they'll say, well, if I succeed at the level I know I'm capable of, my friends and family might leave me because they don't share my level of ambition. So succeeding means I will lose them because they'll leave me. Number 2, loss of your superpower. Another common thing I hear is, well, Corey, I've been the underdog my entire life. Being counted out and having to fight through adversity has fueled me. If I succeed, I won't be the underdog anymore, which means I'll lose my competitive edge. Number 3, loss of ambition. I hear, well, if I succeed, what's left to achieve? I'll have quote unquote made it and have nowhere to go but down. Striving is all I've ever known. Once I succeed, what's left to strive for? Number 4, loss of control. I've heard, well, what if I become niche famous and people put too much stock in my opinion? Power corrupts, and I'm afraid that success will bring too much power and I won't be able to handle that level of influence. Number 5, loss of identity. This is one I personally struggled with for a long time. So for me, I grew up a poor kid. I identified as the poor kid. But as I pursued entrepreneurship, at a certain point, I realized I've been the poor kid my entire life. Well, if I succeed, I won't be the poor kid anymore. And if I'm not the poor kid, who am I? Success represented losing my identity. Number 6, loss of deeply held beliefs. Another thing I hear is people say, well, deep down, I believe I am unworthy of success. So if I achieved it, everything I've ever known or believed will get called into question. I'm just not sure I can handle that. I don't know what life looks like on the other side of success. Number 7, loss of creative freedom. So a common thing with writers, for example, I hear is, well, if I write a best-selling book, that means that the pressure for my second book to be at least as good is just too much. What if I never write something as good ever again? Or what if I get stuck only being able to write about this one topic forever? And the last one, number 8, loss of trust and privacy. So I hear things like, well, if I succeed, I might never know if people want to get to know me for me, or if they're just trying to use me because I'm wealthy or influential. I'll also have to be extra careful that people don't find out where I live, or I'll have to vary my jogging routes to avoid stalkers. There are dozens of other variations of success representing loss I hear all the time. But the reality is that if achieving success represents losing something you care about, of course you'll sabotage yourself from ever achieving it. No matter how much you want to succeed, no matter how many productivity hacks you learn to get more done, no matter how many courses, books, or programs you buy to help you take action, until you learn to dive into the deeply psychological, existential aspects of success, you'll continue to work hard, gain traction, and then suddenly, right when you're on the edge of victory, pull back, self-sabotage, or in some other way, prevent yourself from fully stepping into your potential and succeeding. I'd love to tell you there's one secret technique you can do that will magically cure your fear of success. But I'd be bullshitting you if I told you that, because there's not one. It takes time, guidance, support, and a metric fuck ton of introspection. But I do want to give you something to help you get started. Here's an exercise that's helped me and many of my clients over the years. I call it fear inoculation. Here's how it works. Step 1. Assume your worst fear comes true. Fully flesh it out, every excruciating detail. Step 2. Now, with that assumption in place, how would you recover? Lay out your entire plan. Okay, so shit hits the fan. What do you do after shit has hit the fan? It's simple but super effective, because what you'll likely realize is that even if your worst case scenario happened, you would be way more resilient and adaptive than you're currently giving yourself credit for. Well, now suddenly success isn't so terrifying. So here's how this might look for the 8 examples we talked about earlier. So if you lose people, well, maybe they were never fully with you in the first place and had actually been holding you back. Well, realizing this, you'll be able to move forward and find people who get it and support your goals and your growth. Or let's say you lose your superpower. Maybe it means it's time to find a new fuel source that can propel you forward. You don't need adversity to fuel you anymore. So you don't need to seek out or add adversity into your life. Well, if you lose your ambition, maybe it means you'll recalibrate why you do what you do. Instead of striving for yourself, maybe you strive to help others. Ambition transforms into compassion. Let's say you lose control and start to become corrupted by power and influence. Maybe it motivates you to surround yourself with accomplished yet humble people or study philosophy to stay grounded. Let's say you lose your identity. Maybe it's the kick in the ass you needed to develop a new, more empowered identity, the one you've always wanted, but never gave yourself permission to actually cultivate. Finally, you don't have to keep being the person you've always been because now you're finally free to become the person you've always wanted to be. Let's say you lose your deeply held beliefs. Maybe it's an opportunity to update your operating system with new beliefs that better serve you. Let's say you lose your creative freedom. Maybe it pushes you to reach out to others in a similar position to figure out how they navigated it. Because the thing you've overlooked with this is that by quote unquote losing this due to success, you've actually joined the ranks of the people who inspired you to succeed in the first place. Your idols just became your peers. Hit them up. And then finally, let's say you lose your ability to trust and your privacy. Maybe it means you learn how to better filter for trustworthy, genuine, authentic relationships in your life instead of letting just anyone who comes knocking in. Well, now suddenly the quality of your social circle is higher than it's ever been. You might also realize that losing some privacy is a worthwhile sacrifice if it means having the privilege of reaching and helping people all over the world. See how each of these, once you run them through my fear inoculation exercise, isn't nearly as bad as you made it out to be? Once you're no longer afraid of success, you won't feel the need to hold yourself back from achieving it. Obviously, this takes time, right? Like if you spent 30 or 40 years of your life secretly afraid of success, you're not going to magically make it go away in like 20 minutes or something. But you will be well on your way. Just keep practicing introspection. Now, if you want to go deeper on concepts like this, I've got 2 ways I can help. 1, subscribe to a newsletter. It's where I share psychological insights to help you transform your business, your life, and yourself. Completely free. Just go to creatoralchemy.com to subscribe. I'll also put a link below. And 2, if you want more like personal support on your journey, I run a community for creators, founders, and entrepreneurs to give people like you a space to connect with others on the deeply psychological, existential aspects of entrepreneurship, because it doesn't exist anywhere else that I found. Because if you made it this far, you probably don't need more like business or productivity tactics, strategies, or systems. You know them all, you've memorized them all, you've bought them all, you've applied them all. What you probably need is the support with the psychological side of entrepreneurship. So check out the community at creatoralchemy.com/lab. We'd love to have you. I'll also put a link to that below. Until next time, take it easy.